Welcome back, Classic Conversations. Fresh, as always, it's Vic. We glad that you back with us. Today we're gonna jump right in. Farrakhan getting banned from social media, pretty much. The majors was it Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, I believe it was.
Did YouTube blocked them already?
I think so. YouTube and Facebook is the same shit, right? Oh no, that's
Instagram
Google.
and Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook, yeah. So don't quote me on YouTube, but I know for sure Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah,
he was banned, and this goes back to other people that have been banned. He's not the first, but other people that have been controversial, people that they would consider to be conspiracy theorists, which is a term that I've grown to just accept, but I hate it because it's dismissive. It's just it's a way to just easily write somebody off and not have to deal with what they're saying. You know, not have to listen, not have to evaluate, not have to even respect it. So it's an easy way to just dismiss somebody, and I feel like that's just a higher level of dismissing somebody is to literally ban them.
To write it off as like a we're talking about to ban.
I mean, like, because
to be like we don't even want to hear this shit at all.
Yeah, like it's the first step is just calling them a conspiracy theorist, and then say we're not gonna listen to you. Then the second step is like, okay, you still talking? All right, we're gonna ban you. And that shit started obviously. That began with fucking fake news. The term fake news, which in a lot of cases, the fake news is really the real news, and then we still get the bullshit from CNN.
So, so what about like? I mean, it just really comes down to ownership, right?
It comes down to ownership and support as a people.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, but same time though, you got like so many different cultures, religions being sought out amongst our one people. So, you know, I doubt that. I'm not even gonna say I doubt, but it's highly unlikely that Farrakhan gets that amount of support, especially on social media. Because people won't even boycott a football game, which really doesn't, you know what I'm saying, like do too much for you, unless it directly benefits you in some type of way. But social media is even more of a everyday thing for people, you know what I'm saying? So I doubt people will walk away. Facebook, I mean, I don't even get on Facebook any damn way now, but Instagram, I highly doubt people are gonna stop fucking on Instagram because they banned Farrakhan.
I mean, people don't, like, I was thinking, like, you don't even have to, you know, keep in mind, I'm gonna say, it's sad that people can't give up Instagram, you know, for the greater good, but we don't even have to. We could just show them that we can unify. We could just do, you know what I mean, like a hour or a day. Like, all right, look, just to show you that we can get together and we can be on the same page. 11 a.m. May 10th, we're gonna log off and for an hour, just to show the powers that be that we can do this. And if you push us too far, you see that we can organize. Like we could do that, or a day. Like, you know, same thing they told us to do 4 or 5 years ago. It was like, don't buy gas today.
Right.
Get your gas this day, skip this day, don't buy it. So it was just the fact that day they lost in profit.
Right.
And so if you sign up for Instagram for a day, you know, imagine how much of the advertising money they lose. It affect the bottom line.
50 did something like that. I remember when
told everybody to
delete the stars app.
Delete the stars app.
And he really did it.
But he tell them to do it every year at the end of the season. Powers off, delete your app, people, and turn off your account. He do, because then he show them that people are literally only there for him.
Show you my power.
But that's the support I was talking about. That's the support I'm talking about. Like, I'm, you know, literally talking about the idea of support. We don't support. We do all the posts. Like, that's a fucked up thing. Nigga gets banned from Instagram, right? And then we go on Instagram and post about him being banned from Instagram.
Yeah, instead of taking
your ass off of Instagram and actually putting into action, we just continue talking about it.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's silly. But when it comes back down to the danger, like the danger, the precedent that it sets, is it shows that we can't get together for nothing. We can't unify for no reason. And we should be fighting that, because if they could do that to somebody that's up here, everybody know Farrakhan. What happened when you say some shit that's powerful, but they don't want it to pick up. Like for real, like right now, we might say some powerful shit. Some shit that might start a wildfire right here, right now. What happened if they shut off the Classic Conversations, account, or Victor Ruler, or Fresh Sinatra? You feel me?
Yeah.
Like what happens if that starts happening? Cause it can. Now we see it can. If they can shut it down in front of everybody's face,
Right.
not in the back, in the cut. Just Fresh Sinatra. I got like 700. If you knock my little, who's gonna notice that? On the grand scheme. But if you're talking about a guy who has hundreds of thousands of followers, right, and nobody stands up for it, they take we a joke, bro. They don't take it seriously. We don't take us seriously.
I mean, you're right. I mean, but like I said, like all comes down to ownership, because at the end of the day, even though Facebook and Instagram are social medias, I mean, they might be publicly traded companies, but they still have that imaginary, we have the right to do business with anybody we want to, sign hanging up, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, it's just kind of crazy. Just
you saying that we should have our own, like, or?
Yeah, I mean, that's one medium, you know what I'm saying? Not to say like, I mean, I just read this book called The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. Like, pretty sure people heard Nip talk about it in an interview too. But like the first chapter in that book is you have to create something original for yourself, because nobody's ever gonna remember number two. And it gave an example of basically like the first person to fly across the world in an airplane. And then they said, you don't know who the second person is, but the first person is in the history books. And then the second law off of that says that if you are going to go with something that has already been created, you have to create yourself a new lane. So Amelia Earhart was the third person to do it, but she was the first woman. So, like, I feel like it'll just have to have some type of twist on it. Just like Instagram was a new social media. The only twist was tweeting. You guys should tweet small conversation or small remarks, and then Instagram is really just picture based. And it gave you a way to create a world for yourself on a profile which no other social media has ever been able to do. Or people's mind just wasn't fucked up like that when MySpace and Facebook first came out, I guess you can say.
I mean, shit, for Black Planet. Black Planet was a shit.
That's before my time, big
That's
dog.
definitely before your time, bro.
Woo!
That Black Planet was a shit.
How many Black Planet accounts you had?
I only had one.
You had a premium account,
No, I just had one. I had the one Black Planet where you would sit there and get your Black Planet profile right. You had your little pictures, your little, because it was literally just like hollering. Like, you had your little profile right there.
You ever crack any females off? I'm not saying crack as far as like have sex. I'm just saying like you ever.
I have met a few of my friends.
Yeah, he thought I was gonna ask you some crazy shit.
Man,
he said, "Come on, bro.
Come on, bro."
I'm not Wendy Williams.
I have met some friends from Black, but everybody did. That was literally.
Right, I'm just asking.
That was like before that. It was
the freak
Instagram. No, it was before that was Instant Messenger, like AIM, and then before that it was AOL chat rooms where people would hit you up and be like age, sex, and like whatever. The question was always hit you straight off the top, and people would get in it. Before that was Party Line. I didn't do the Party Line much, but it's like three-way, but with a bunch of people, and they're niggas used to be on there like, hey, you sound cute, like, let's meet up. And she never looked like she sounded.
As far as like
nigga, that was the thing. Like, people would jump on the party line. There'd be a bunch of people talking.
You say you never got on the party line?
I was never the thing. My boys used to do that.
Okay.
But I'm saying that was the thing. People would be like, hey, you sound cute. Like, you can really tell what a person sound like. But it'd be a big girl.
Might have a crazy voice.
Nigga, it's like just like Friday, bro.
Like me.
Just like Friday, Smokey. Didn't anticipate getting catfished.
Janet Jackson.
But yeah, back to the shit though.
Right.
We've had our things. We've had our moments to kind of sharing our platforms. I don't know. Keep in mind, I don't know if Black Planet was owned by Black people or not.
Right.
But I mean, it said Black, so I'm not even going to assume. But my thing is that we've had our own portions, our own sections, our own thing. Right. Black Planet was us, Now MySpace and the rest of them are all, inclusive. I don't know the difference and you know that versus now the mindset. But I could tell you that if we can't unify for Farrakhan, which everybody said they fuck with, everybody said they support, everybody said they love, everybody said that he's speaking for us and be in the trenches, then if we can't just come together for an hour for that purpose, then we definitely not on the mindset to have our own platform. Just like, niggas had Black Twitter, right? But it was still on Twitter. Like, you hear people talking about it all the time, oh, we need to take and go have our own app, like our own platform. Let's take Black Twitter and actually create blacktwitter.com, right? As many app developers that were probably involved in all that, venture capitalists, Black venture capitalists, nobody took that and said, let's get our own platform so we can be over here. And so, fuck with, if they want to ban him over here, we got this over here. You know what I mean? It's the same. It's really the same thing.
Okay, so what do you think about this thing? So what's the black dude that owns the Weather Channel?
I know you're talking about.
And he just basically like
Byron Allen.
So he basically just outbid Ice Cube and his group for like a package of sports channels.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Well,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not
gonna say it. No, I'm gonna say it. Fuck it. I just have to tell you that I don't know, but I can tell you that when he did his little thing, he had like this comedy thing that it was like in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I don't really know about, bro.
Yeah, I got a couple tickets once upon a time to do like his audience.
Okay.
And he had this thing where it would come on in the middle of the night. It'd be like a comedy thing where they would. I can't even remember what it was, but it was a live audience. It wasn't funny, but that was his niche, and he made money from that. Like, it was probably because he didn't spend a lot of money, that whatever was profit, but he grinded like that. He kind of stayed in the shadows, and then eventually you see he got $300 million to buy the Weather Channel, right? Well, here's the thing: only from what I've seen of him, and then from knowing the other side, the Ice Cube. I could just imagine that if Ice Cube, no, they say no to him, right? They said no to Bill Cosby when he tried to buy the networks. When Diddy tried to buy into to the NFL? They said nah, right? He had the money, right? Controversial niggas always get pushed to the side, like, you know what I mean?
So
like loud, not just the quiet. So either he was just smarter and what was it Red Rum when we interviewed him that said niggas be announcing themselves and they be talking too much, they need to just act. Yeah, he said that was the thing, niggas need to stop talking about what they gonna do and just do it. I think that was what Byron Allen did better, was that he moved in silence. Keep in mind, he was always moving in silence. Didn't nobody expect that nigga to have 300 million. Bro was literally on a TV show in the middle of the night without, and he was but he's considered a comedian.
Right. That's
nobody.
Threw me off.
I ain't seen him on no stage.
But my follow-up question to that was, like, don't you think it's crazy how even if he did outbid him, like, you would want to try to bring, somebody else in the door with you, even if you're giving them the smallest stake in whatever, still.
You sound like Byron Allen to Cube.
Exactly. Like,
that's what I think it is. I think that I think if he would have aligned himself with Cube, they would have said no.
Right, but now he has it though, so let's see what happens after.
Well, it's the same thing as when Jay-Z bought or got Reasonable Doubt. He didn't go back and give a piece to Dame. You know what I mean? Obviously, they're having issues, but
that was a different relationship though.
But I'm just saying, the thing is, once you get it, niggas don't usually give back. Nigga, they got it. You don't see it, so it's either, I'm not saying that that's on account of them all the time, but maybe there's some unwritten rule or something that happens in the back rooms that say, hey, look, like, because if they didn't let Cube, if they literally pushed Cube out the way, if you see what they did to Bill Cosby.
The NBA is definitely involved in that, because the Big Three is about to have crazy ratings this year.
Yeah.
It's had a Big Three draft, first off.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, they definitely going to do their job to try to
definitely
minimize it.
They got all the realest, most charismatic players involved, period. Once you got Gary Payton coaching, you got goddamn, what's up boy name that used to date Kishiko with the big ass, Kenyon Martin. Kenyon Martin coaching, you know what I'm saying?
Couple niggas dated her though. Didn't
I just know Kenyon Martin. Oh no, he dated. I think he dated Trina.
Yeah,
but either way, Kenyon Martin, you got people like that coaching, it's automatically gonna be a show.
Yeah, but that's my point. It's not even just the fact that it's the NBA is the rival. It's the fact that niggas ain't supposed to be in those positions per those.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't want, even though it could be profitable. It could be profitable to them. They don't. That position is not for us in their minds.
Right.
That should be filled by somebody else that look like them.
Correct.
So even if you gotta, like it's not a coincidence that even I don't think Bill Cosby did everything that he was accused of. But even if he did, the timing was not a coincidence that they decided to drop this bomb on him right when he trying to get this spot. You feel me?
Yeah, I don't think that's a coincidence at all.
They block you, and they don't want us to be that because of the fact that we can turn around and give back. So at very least jobs, right? Yeah. Nepotism, you get your kids in, right? You get people that look like you as opposed to just, right? That's not allowed. Yeah. That's not allowed. That's like I believe that's an unwritten thing from any kind of money, big money that come from the white establishment, right? Or I mean, it's not even just white, but other races, higher power. When they give us big money, it's like this is contingent upon if you want to help some niggas or some black people, go to Africa. Don't come back to the hood. Don't come back to the inner cities.
But that just goes off exactly what you said. Like, just to piggyback on that, it's kind of like you just got to really start to make moves on the back end and not announce them. Because, when we announce stuff, people like to throw wrenches in the road. You know what I'm saying? They like to fuck up plans because they know what you got going on. So they're going to put you in small, weird predicaments just so they can see how you're going to react to them and stuff like that. Opposed to, when you're just doing your thing and grinding, ain't nobody even looking at you and paying attention to you for the most part. Like Byron Allen. Like, I can't get mad at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really, when I first read the headline, it says, African-American comedian, Byron Allen. I'm like, comedian?
I ain't never seen the dude on stage at a comedy club. But other than that little thing he did.
He accumulated his bread. I'm sure he invested properly and turned his money in the gold.
This ain't going to be the last time. He didn't got his foot in the door, so you're going to see his name again popping up buying some other shit. But
so I'm saying it's number 2. This is the second time he acquired more networks.
But that's the thing. He don't do it. That's the thing. He don't do it. He do it very quietly. And B, he don't do it on no African American shit. He do it as a businessman, which definitely makes him less of a threat. You know what I mean? If you out there, beating your chest with the black medallion, the black African medallion on your chest, they're gonna come at you, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But he ain't. I ain't never heard him say no pro-black nothing.
Yeah. Say shit. I ain't never heard him say shit.
Point though. You feel me?
I'm saying, but it's chess, not checkers. So I feel it.
But that at the same thing, that goes back. If we talking about things that we support, people we support, that really they don't. Much of them outside of NIP, like really I could say, have never really been vocal and have the words and the action, right? Which is kind of where these conversations started from in 2 or 3 episodes that we've been talking about. Is Farrakhan actually be in the hood? You feel me?
Definitely.
Like, if it's beef, he gonna go talk to 2 niggas in the hood, Chicago, LA, New York. You feel me?
Yeah.
And go where they at. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's why I say we should be ashamed of ourselves for not supporting him better, because he literally is concerned and he not even walking on no eggshell. He come to the hood, right? That's really dude 80 years old. In his old age, he not being shy or afraid. You know what I mean? He ain't having niggas meet him up in Beverly Hills and shit. He going to the hoods of America to talk to the youth, to try to wake them up, to quell beef so that they don't end up in no deaths, right? You get this dude to talk to this dude, just a conversation. He know a lot about a lot of things at his age, different generation, and he be talking about things that a lot of us can relate to, but we don't pay him back. And, we've already seen this with Cap, right? We seen the same thing play out with Cap, where Cap literally put his livelihood on the line, right, for what he believed in, which was niggas getting pulled over and not seeing the light of day, right? Niggas getting harassed by the cops night in and night out. And he decided he was going to make a stand for it. That created this controversy, but he didn't bow out. So here he is making a stance for all of us, right? Because I know you done been pulled over, I done been pulled over, right? So every black man, every brown man, everybody that's ever had that situation in America, he made a stand for it. So aren't we in debt? The very people that he took a stance for to stand back up for him. It's almost like nigga we get our moment and we don't kneel, right? So niggas is like, oh yeah, I fuck with Cap, power to him. Like yeah, I support him, but I can't name my football. Niggas is still doing it, and I'm like, is that right? Really? How can you say one and the same? How can you say you support him, but you can't turn off the TV? You gotta, and so we see the same thing with him. We can't support. So in the words, if you take the definition of the word, we don't support as a people because we don't support each other. But then we don't support people that support us.
Yeah, we don't have it's not a unified situation from front to back. It's a lot of different opinions. A lot of different people think they know everything, but there's ways to have different opinions with a similar outcome though. It's just all about just being humble for the most part and just being open to different perspectives and new ways of thinking. Like it's not always bad to be able to have to, I'm not gonna say answer to someone, but to have somebody that's just more knowledgeable than you about life. Like I look at you, you're still a strapping young man. You feel me? So me, I still look at you for certain stuff. I call you for advice all the time, But if I was just wanted to be arrogant, and feel myself and base that off the accomplishments that I've already had, I'll get nowhere. Like I'll just be a nigga with past accomplishments that's stuck in the same place because I can't get over myself. So, it's still psychological warfare on the community as far as propaganda goes, just everything that's being fed to us. So I just think that moving forward in the future that, we just gotta be able to be open-minded, and that's just the first step, like being open-minded and willing to listen, because the human brain works like the first time you hear something that's not according to your regular understanding in life, you automatically like, hell no, that can't be true. Somebody tell you, like you tell a white person Jesus is black.
It's what they call it, cognitive dissonance or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Something like that. I ain't even trying to get tongue-tied right now on the camera. But I mean, basically, it's like, anything against your natural level of understanding is you're going to feel like it's attacking you at the end of the day. So, it's a good conversation starter. And I feel like I'm not mad that dude Byron Allen got the stations. Of course, I'm an Ice Cube fan, so of course I want Ice Cube to have his own station. But, if that's a step in a positive direction and Byron Allen is really doing it for the right reasons.
I'm sorry, cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, cognitive dissonance. As long as he's doing it for the right reasons, then I don't, I don't really see nothing wrong with it. It's like, may the best man win at that point.
I mean, I'm going to be 100% frank and real with you. Don't neither of them do nothing for me, so.
Yeah, they don't. I'm saying, just as a natural fan of Ice Cube's music, I'm of course be biased and I want him to get it just off rip, but it really has no direct effect on me either way. Yeah,
because we'll applaud another man's success, which is what we should do, right? We'll a black man in that position, but that black man don't turn around and leave the door open, or you see what I'm saying? Then it's just conversation at that point. We were like, oh yeah, it's cool. He got in that position, so now we can get in that position.
It's not directly affecting.
It's not directly affecting. Because you got there. That doesn't automatically mean I can get there, and it doesn't mean that you're helping me. And not to say that anybody is owed that.
I think it's just a precedent set, though. At the end of the day, it's just a precedent, and like when you see stuff, it's a lot more obtainable. So for people that are not in our position, to where it's like that would be so much of an immediate thing since we are.
But is that a good thing because they black? Because anybody could do that. Like it could be somebody your age. Like so, it's like let's say your partner your age.
I think it's a good thing because it's black. Because it's like my little brother is 9 years old.
I think it's
me, and he's able to see stuff like that. Like we spoke about a black dude on the Weather Channel, and he's like, I mean, what's so significant about a black man on the Weather Channel? A lot of black people don't own channels, and I'm like, no, they don't.
Well, that goes to my point. if somebody your age do it, is it, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, oh, somebody my age can do it, so I can do it too, right? It's kind of the even playing ground. Yeah, they black, but it's no different than somebody your age doing it or somebody from your neighborhood doing it. You know what I mean? Those type of things. Like, I think that the defining moment is, okay, once you got it as a person, if you're gonna benefit from it, right? Benefit from the black community. If you're gonna benefit from that, even some of the minority programs, then it's like, okay, if we're gonna say put you up there and say, okay, cool, you black, now I could do it too because you're black and you benefit from that, then give something back or leave the door open or show us how to do it, because that's what Nip did. You feel me? What made him different was not, he wasn't just up there flossing it and saying I got it. Niggas was like, oh, it's cool because it's a black man in there. Show us how to do it.
I'm just saying at the lowest level, regardless of what they do after, I'm just saying the fact of achievement. Like, I was the first black student to ever be the ASB president of Culver City High School. So after that, there was a following next minority of Culver City High School following that. So just the fact of somebody having to be like that first person to step in the door to be able to take those necessary steps just to spark interest in the first place.
Yeah, my thing is I just hate that we get so many of those, right? We get so many celebrities or people in that point, media eye, who are the first or they got there, and that's to show us. I'm looking for some more action. I'm tired of seeing multiple people that, oh yeah, we're celebrating that they got there, and I'm looking for more action. Like Nip, I hate to, and it's not really about Nip, it's more about Farrakhan. But in that case, Nip wasn't just, oh, I got there, let me be the portrait, the poster of where you can get, and let me just serve as nothing more than your motivation to get where I'm at. So I'm gonna put the jewelry on and show you the cars, and I'm gonna be your motivation. That's kind of, I feel like that's a cop out for a lot of people, but put some action behind it. And so that's why I'm not really thrilled about Byron Allen, getting to that point. I'm more thrilled about the ones like Nip who actually put effort behind it.
Okay, how could you say you're not thrilled? Have you looked into his employment list and what he's done?
Who, Byron Allen? I'm telling you, I know about Byron Allen since before this.
I know you know about him. I'm just saying, like, I don't think you can objectively say that. Well, I guess you could say you can care or not, but I'm just saying in the sense of you don't necessarily know what he's doing with his money because you didn't even know he had $300 million.
Nah, but I could tell you, I'm not going to. I chose my words graciously in this, but I could tell you that I don't see him as the great proponent for us.
Okay.
At all, like in his behavior, in his life, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think
him on the same 5-on-5 team as Tiger Woods.
I don't think he that bad.
Okay.
I don't think he that bad. I feel like he's kind of at the level with like a Tay Diggs.
Damn, Tay Diggs.
Remember when he was like, he taught
don't
his
do it, bloodbath.
Remember what he said with his kid though? He taught his kid, like, he said his son is biracial, not black.
Oh yeah, he's a buster.
Now he just totally took the black out of the equation and just said he's biracial. Wait, I don't want my son growing up to be black. I want him to grow up to be biracial. Is that what he said?
I don't want my son to be black. He's biracial.
He didn't, not in those words, but yeah. There was context in the conversation where they're like, hey, how could you, because he is black, like that's a part of him. Yes, he's the other, but he is black. And he's like, nah,
1% black.
He's biracial.
Oh damn.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's some.
But you see, Tay Diggs has benefited on black his whole career. Like, he's been the black dude in the hip hop movies and the soul. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm like, I'm kind of tired of the figureheads.
I'm with you.
I want to see the action. You feel me? But that's kind of getting away from the Farrakhan. But just kind of just some of the ideas to make sure we on the same page. Farrakhan ban, obviously not a good thing. We got to figure out a way for him to find a platform. I believe he has his own platform, the NOI platform, which now if we're not going to support him by boycotting or putting Instagram and Facebook to notice, then what we need to do is go and jump over to his platform and support him over there if we real about it, if we really are people about action. And otherwise, we're
the final call, too. It's like,
final call.
It's crazy because I just want to say this, like, The Final Call newspaper, everybody looks at the Final Call newspaper as much of like
It's an accessory to the bean
an
pods.
accessory to the bean pods, definitely. But at the same time, you get to think about it. And me, I have a degree in advertising and journalism, and I also have a degree in psychology, so I can understand the how they go hand in hand in propaganda, and in which ways that the news likes to sway our opinions and such. So when it comes to something like the Final Call, you have to be appreciative of something like that, just because, one, it still has traditional print newspapers. Two, the fact that it's giving you a perspective from the black community. It's not giving you an altered message from somebody else that's trying to give you something that you're not supposed to have. All the information in there is relevant to us, for us, by us. So people don't even get to think about that concept. Shit, it's like we want our own platforms to be able to deliver us our own message, but we don't even buy into the things that are trying to deliver us a message to keep us away from having to go look in the LA Times and read some shit that was written from a hegemonic or patriarchal perspective.
Right. Well, I mean, that goes hand in hand with the fact that they got their own podcast, they got their own network of entertainment, right? They got their own network now, where we got, like, you know how we have networks that we find on YouTube, or, you know, that have entertainment and content. They got their own, right? Which is obviously now he's gonna have to lean on that a lot more,
Start to press that issue more.
Start to press that, but what it is we need to jump over there, and it doesn't stop us from doing the other side. We don't have to, if we can't get together and separate ourselves from Instagram, we don't have to take that and throw that away. We can do both, right. But we need to support him,
right,
because he supports us. Otherwise, that's unequal, that's unbalanced. If he do all the work for us, that's a very, very uneven relationship.
I'm with you,
and I'm sure he's not afraid of that. But if we got to show ourselves real at some point, and show ourselves real enough to support those who support us. Yeah. Otherwise, then who could take our voices seriously? You know what I mean? We out there protesting and talking all this good stuff, hashtagging, but if there's no action behind it, it's just whispers in the wind, bro.
That works.
Whispers in the wind.